realized last time that I wouldn't be able to cover all the stuff we saw in just one video, even though we were only covering the front part of Gatorland. We didn't cover the free secure parking or the special handicap parking spots. We didn't talk about the Junior Jumperoo starring you, or of course, some more Gatorland history. So let's fix that with Gatorland's reopening Part 2! Okay, not a real original name, but, well, anyway. Well, one of Gatorland's most awesome shows is the Jumperoo. Crowds would line the railing to get a view of gators jumping 5 feet out of the water to snack on a whole chicken. And not lining the rail is the problem. So, until Gatorland staff can figure out a way to do the show and still promote social distancing, well, it's been put on hold. But there is an alternative. For a small fee, you and your little ones can put on your own Junior Jumperoo.
There we go. There we go. There he comes. There he is. Got a little bit more. I gotta bring it down so I can get it. Let's see. Oh, here he goes. Here he goes. Here he comes.
Admittedly, sometimes it doesn't go quite as planned. But eventually, they get the point. You can only feed the 2 to 4 and 3 to 5-year-old gators, and the small cost is 3 fish for only $5, and Gatorland will even provide the pole. Speaking of small costs, riding the Gatorland Railway is only $2 for an all-day pass. Now, Gatorland has had a railroad since 1965, and according to them, it was the first amusement attraction in Central Florida. The 2-foot narrow-gauge train transported guests a quarter of a mile around the gator ponds until a major expansion in 1988. In 2000, after 200,000 miles of service, the Old Iron Horse Express, which was built by Alan Herschel Company, was retired. The next year, a new train, built by Train Rides Unlimited, took to the rails in its place. And yes, it is wheelchair accessible. And you'll find that most things at Gatorland are handicap accessible. For instance, while the awesome Screamin' Gator zipline isn't handicap accessible, and let's face it, how could it be? Gatorland didn't want wheelchair users to feel left out, so they built the only handicap accessible zipline in the United States, the Gator Gauntlet. Starting from the Screamin' Gator Depot, you'll head up the ramps to the observation tower, where you transfer into a sling and then head across Gatorland's breeding marsh, home to 130 free-roaming alligators. I say you because there's no way in the world that I'm going to do it. But for those of you who aren't in a wheelchair, the Screamin' Gator is listed as one of the world's top 10 zip lines. And the cost for all this excitement? Well, it's usually $69.99, but right now it's only $39.99. So you start from the 7 stories up. Yeah, I know it sounds bad already. You'll head to 6 separate towers, traveling 1,200 feet across gator pits and ponds, and ending up on the other side of the park. Of course, it's not all zipline. When you cross from Tower 5 to Tower 6, it's just a walk in the park. Or should I say, over the park. Now, one of the things that may not be considered 100% accessible is the Stompin' Gator Off-Road Adventure. Wheelchair users must transfer, and the only assistance you would have is whatever you bring with you. Staff members can't help you transfer. Something else to consider is why you're in a wheelchair in the first place. See, I have a horrendously bad back, and the warning signs single me out as someone who might want to watch rather than participate. Now, there is limited seating on Bone Crusher, and staff members are doing a thorough cleaning job in between adventure groups. But you may just want to avoid the whole thing if you're like I am. You know, chicken. Oh, and here's something else. In between our visits on the 28th and the 3rd, something else great happened at Gatorland. The Gator Gully Kids Water Play Area has reopened. Gator Gully features numerous ways for your kids to get soaked. There is a changing room if you brought a change of clothes, or for $5 the whole family can dry off in the local wind chamber. I'd show you how it works, but I need a few more Patreon team members before I can justify spending that much money on a demonstration. Oh, and by the way, they've got it at Universal Studios too. The dryer, not the splash park. You know, Gatorland has critters besides alligators and crocodiles. Down the other side of Gator Gully are two of my favorites. No, not these two, but they are kind of cute. No, I'm talking about Nico and his sister Lucy. Gatorland's Florida Panthers. Now, I always thought Florida Panthers were like the size of bobcats, but these are just like any other large jungle cat. There is a handicapped ramp up to the cat's lair, but, you know, the other end of the boardwalk is at ground level, so it doesn't really make any difference. Although raised in captivity in a loving home, Nico and Lucy are rare, two of the dwindling population of Florida panthers. In 1982, there were thought to be only 20 panthers roaming Florida, but through conservation efforts, and the number has risen to 230 in a 2017 count. It'd be a shame to lose these fantastic beasts, yet their number one killer is still the automobile. So please use caution when traveling through the glades. And although I said we were talking about animals other than gators, how can you leave these cuties out? All they need is a couple of HO scale houses to destroy, and we got us a major motion picture. And since we're back on the topic of alligators, let's head out to Gatorland's breeding marsh. Out here, 30 male gators have their choice of 100 females, or, if you prefer, 100 female gators have to pick from only 30 male gators. And I gotta tell you, after only a few minutes over the breeding marsh, you're sure that there's way more than 130 gators out here. Oh, I know! Let's go shopping! In addition to special photo ops and places to smash pennies, there are 5 places to pick up souvenirs in Gatorland, beginning with the Gator Gully General Store. It's right next to the splash pad, so it's got sunscreen, towels, and drinks and such, but it's not always open. Next up is the Adventure Outpost, where Bone Crusher takes off from. They have everything the potential adventurer would ever want, including hats. Lots of hats!
Come here for my hats, huh?
The Adventure Outpost is located in the back part of the park, where they have a crushed shell walkway, so if you're in a wheelchair, watch for soft spots. The Gatorland does do a pretty good job of marking them, though. Now, I have mentioned that Gatorland has not one, but 2 Mold-O-Matic machines, and I'll show you what you get if I can ever get it to work. Must bring cash. Well, let's see. Gator Gully, Adventure Outpost, 2 Mold-O-Matic. What's that leave? Oh yeah! Gatorland's award-winning gift shop and parking lot. I'm not sure if the parking lot's award-winning or just a gift shop. Oh well. Gatorland's gift shop is just jam-packed with souvenirs. Some you'd expect, and some you wouldn't. But if it's Gator, they got it. And if it's not Gator, well, there's a good possibility they got it too. Oh yeah, Pearl's picture. That reminds me. Last week I asked you if you thought Pearl looked like my mom, and you responded. Everyone, but my sister, says she does. So, I'll ask again. Let me know in the comments below, and I'll select a viewer at random for a $25 Gatorland gift card. Well, here we go again. I'm running out of time before I run out of Gatorland. We still haven't checked out Gatorland's cool gator and snake photos, or Gatorland Snack Choices, or Gatorland's Crocodiles. And you know, Gatorland was a filming location for Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. And you know, as a history buff, I'm definitely going to have to talk about that 2006 fire that Gatorland had that changed the entire park facade. But anyway, we're annual pass holders, so we'll be back. But for now, so long from Gatorland. I hope you enjoyed this video and you'll give it a big thumbs up. That way, maybe this bird will get off my back and YouTube will show this to some other people. I try to put out a new video every Friday, and if you like this kind of video, why don't you go ahead and subscribe? It's free. You just push on the red subscribe button down below. But don't forget, when you do subscribe, click on that bell icon. That way you'll be notified the next time I upload a video. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.
And I completely forgot to mention before we left the station, if anybody has any questions throughout the train ride, underneath each and every one of your seats, there's a button that you can press down on that'll activate your individual microphone and allow me to hear you up here, so if you guys have any questions.